Hello, so I'm Shannon, if people don't know,
And I'm Dave.
and we wanted to make some videos, but it's been hard. Last time we made a video a few days ago, and I forgot to turn the mic on, so we made this 20-minute video, and oh, it was bad. But I just want to do some casual videos about Buddhism where hopefully people feel comfortable, interacting with us as humans and just chatting about Buddhism and not being too overly serious about it. I mean, be serious about it. It's important,
It's
but
not formal.
formal
Yeah.
is a good word. Yeah. So
With a heavy emphasis on practicality of it and how to apply Buddhism and practice Buddhism, underlying everything we talk about, actually.
yeah, actually, I'd been doing the posts about our core values for a long time. I guess it was like a month or two, maybe. And I just got so bored by it. And really, the idea of doing videos came from wanting to show people how we actually apply those core values in real life by taking some aspects of Buddhism and breaking down how we approach Buddhism anyway. And I know it's controversial how we do it. We might question things or just like discard parts of it, or we might add things, but try to be more rational than just taking everything, for what it face value, just accepting everything.
Yeah, so where do you want to start?
So we're not even doing that this time, even though that was the idea. This month's Gosho lecture for Nichiren Shoshu, the Nichiren Shoshu organization, is the 3 obstacles and 4 devils. So we were going to talk some about that.
And pray tell me that obstacles and devils don't have anything to do with Judeo-Christianity or that kind of thing.
Well, I wasn't raised Christian, but in Buddhism, things like devils are not, at least our form of Buddhism. I've heard reports that other forms are different, but they're not literal. Like a devil, obstacles are obviously normal for everyone, but a devil isn't like a guy with horns that comes out and tries to be mean to you or to sway you into Satanism or something.
Yeah, what's annoying is it's a real principle, and it's one of those things that gets, maybe it just has a bad name. To mention obstacles and devils throws some people into a tailspin over, see, this is just parables and old stories. No, I think it's a relevant principle for people. How soon in a person's practice do you think, in your opinion, the concept of obstacles and devils come into play, and why?
In some cases, it could be right away, like especially like say you are in a very hardcore Christian family, or like you're you're a husband or wife and your spouse and all your kids are Christian, and then you just decide to go to a Buddhist meeting, and they're like, what are you doing, and they kind of try to talk you out of it. But really the harder obstacles come, the stronger your practice is, the more opposition you get. So the initial things that start out early are probably easy to brush off, and it's no big deal. But as your practice gets stronger and stronger, the opposition to it gets more and more adamant, it seems like.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. I concur. So, what do you do about it? It doesn't sound very positive. I'm going to start.
You want it to be positive. I see. I don't do
Okay.
that. That's not my thing.
Well, for my sake, please, could you be, or you could just be positive that it's, anyway.
Positive that it's a really bad thing. No, okay. Well, we were talking about one thing we had talked about is abuse.
Well, that sounds positive.
Yeah, no, I grew up in an abusive environment, and there's like the Tina Turner story. If you look at it,
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
notices about this. That Oh, okay, our camera just like went off for a minute. Um, she was in this abusive relationship with Ike, and she starts chanting. If anybody noticed, she actually chants in that movie. It's really weird. And at first, her chanting's kind of weak, and nothing's going on. But as she goes, her chanting gets stronger and stronger and more resolute as she's chanting, and you can see it. They put it in the movie. And as she's getting stronger through her practice of Buddhism, and her practice of Buddhism is getting stronger, she starts thinking, I don't have to take this from this asshole, and and eventually, she beats him up and she runs away, and she actually is the one that hits him back, which she had never done before in the movie. She gets more powerful, and she's just not going to take the abuse anymore. And my own experience, that's not exactly how it went down. I think just as you get stronger personally, you just naturally start thinking, I'm better than this as you chant.
Right.
You start developing more self-confidence, and this changes the power dynamic with your abuser. Yeah. And they don't like it. And so they become more and more opposed to your Buddhist practice because something natural is happening inside of you that's upsetting them, and it's real to them. It's not just, oh, I'm upset because you're a Buddhist and I'm against Buddhism, although that does also happen. But also just your change they notice it and they respond.
I don't think it has to be to the level of abuse like it wasn't in Turner's case with
with Ike.
Yeah, crackhead Ike, whatever. But we've been doing this, teaching Buddhism stuff for how long has it been? Years and years, over 20 years together. You and I have, and we frequently see. We can call the names. Don't worry, we won't call out your name of people that just begin practicing. And their confidence, you can just see the effects of chanting on their life condition. Like after you pointed that out about Tina Turner in the movie, I paid more attention to it. I'm like, how could I have not seen? Yes, that was the whole thing. She got stronger, more resolved, and just what we would call a higher life condition because of it. But in our experience, hang on to your hats when you first start practicing Buddhism. I think right from the very beginning, most people, I won't say all because I don't know all cases, but
in our experience,
people that start, when we look at them, we can see how much stronger they are, and their spouses or significant others or whatever see it too, and it's generally, unless they join the person in practicing Buddhism or trying it out or whatever they're doing, there's kind of an opportunity for
friction.
going into separate ways and that kind of thing. There's another positive thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But the positive part is actually you're getting stronger, and I think you're changing your life. And where it could go wrong is a person changes significantly. They just, their whole life becomes different because they started chanting, and then they go, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, and they quit chanting right then. That is the worst possible time to quit chanting. Don't quit chanting. Once you start this change, once you start in this direction, the last thing you want to do is stop just when it's starting, the stuff is, starting to roll. Just keep rolling it. And then maybe later you can take a break. But now actually is the time to amp up your practice and see really what kind of positive effect your life is going to go in now that you're this new person.
And I think, like you did for me with What's Love Got to Do with the Tina Turner movie, you said, you can just see, don't you remember? You just reminded me to look for it. And then when I looked for it, I really could easily see it. I think it's the same with people starting to chant. I think they need someone in their environment to tell them, you sound so much more uh, confident, and it's just hard to describe, but you're way different. People might even say something like, you're wearing your hair differently, or
Yeah. Oh,
what's
yeah. They
going
say all
on.
kinds of things.
But if you're told that, then you start looking for it, and you really can see it. So I think it's valuable. Some people say, well, you're just brainwashing people into thinking there's something. No, just like I tried out, I tested what you had said by watching that section of the Tina Turner movie, and I agree, it's undeniable,
Well, if you
undeniable.
see it inside of if you chant for a while and you see yourself change and you are self-aware enough to notice you're getting stronger and you can feel your life condition is this thing that most people don't experience changes in.
You will hear
But
about this concept again and again from us.
anyway, you feel your life condition changing. You know what it feels like subjectively. And then you see someone else change their life condition. You know what's happening inside of them because you've had that same experience. But if you've never experienced the high life condition and the changing your life condition through chanting, I'm not sure, even after I pointed it out about Tina Turner, I've done that with non-Buddhists. And they don't get it
Yeah.
because they've never been through that. But if you've been through it, you're like, oh, I know what happens when I change my life condition. Oh, I see that happening over there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You're so
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's like, I have an analogy about smoking pot for the first time, when I was much younger, but I'm not going to belabor it at this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit late.
Yeah, it's a little late.
But I do want to get to, before we close, I want to read these, actually,
Read the Nichiren part.
okay, this is from Nichiren Shoshu about the 3 obstacles. No, I want to read the 3 obstacles.
Okay,
That's what
go
I'm
for
doing.
it. Go for it.
1 is the obstacle of earthly desires, obstacles arising from the 3 poisons of greed, anger, and stupidity. So that's internal, that's your own crap you're dealing with. 2 is the obstacle of karma, obstacles due to bad karma created by committing any of the 5 cardinal sins or 10 evil acts, which we won't get into. Also, obstacles caused by one's spouse and children. And 3, the obstacle of retribution, obstacles due to retribution for negative actions from the past. Also, obstacles caused by one's sovereign or parents. So, I just like to point this out because people tend to not look at the people they love, the people closest in their environment to them, as obstacles because that's mean-spirited or something. But really, the people that have the most effect on you, that can really stall your practice, are your spouse, your children, and your parents. Because these are your immediate family, basically, are the people that get in your head. They know how to get into your head.
Oh, yes.
And they're the most likely to be the ones to do it if anyone's going to do it. I mean, like it says, you're sovereign. They're talking about the government or maybe employers or something. Well, you can just tell, those people, hey, fuck off, and... It doesn't bother you personally, but
How many times have we been fired?
your immediate family, that really bothers
Don't take
you.
her advice.
And you may be inclined to give way to them. That's where I see most people get stuck, is their spouse usually is the one that says, oh, no, you don't do that. And they're worried about losing their spouse or losing their spouse's respect.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a lot of people get kind of stuck, is right there. So it's something to look out for. I think people should look out for it and just be strong and know who they are and what they want to achieve and try to sway their spouse their way instead of the other way,
Exactly.
So
anything
you
more
want
of this?
No, did you want me to read actually Nichiren's quote about it?
I'd just like to read.
Do you want to read it?
No, I don't.
Okay. This is actually a quote from Nichiren. Changes certainly occur when the high tide yields to low tide, when the moon rises and sets, when summer gives way to autumn, or winter turns to spring. Are you looking at that?
Oh,
So
no.
very The same is true when a common mortal attains Buddhahood. At a critical moment, he definitely will encounter the 3 obstacles and 4 devils. The wise will rejoice while the foolish will retreat.
Okay. The obvious thing is explain that last sentence.
Oh yeah, that's great. If you're wise and you know about the obstacles and devils, you'll be like, oh, this is the obstacles and devils. That means my practice is getting stronger. I'm getting better. Instead of retreating, I should be advancing more.
Dig in. This is
And
the most valuable time for you to be
right,
chanting when it's hard to chant.
right. And be encouraged by it instead of discouraged like they want you to be. Actually be encouraged that they're actually giving you validation that it's working.
Right,
Really.
exactly. Well done. Well done.
Okay, is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Till next time.